can't get it done anymore. So bring Shedeur Sanders up with the young kid, the lefty, and now your first and second team are the young quarterbacks. That's what we want to see. And make no mistake, Alex, we talked about this yesterday. You said there's 2 first-round picks that they have next year, right?
Yep.
So this is about, let's see what we have. Are one of these guys going to be our quarterback moving forward?
Right.
And to me, look, I was saying something about Shedeur Sanders. And to me, I just know this kid has so much.
Apparently, Alex Smith just dropped a bombshell about why Shedeur Sanders isn't starting for the Cleveland Browns, and it's spicier than a reality show confession. Forget the on-field drama, this sounds like something straight out of a Netflix sports soap. Did the Browns really sideline their golden boy for that reason? Buckle up, because what Alex just exposed might make every fan question what's really happening behind those locker room doors.
Yeah, I think there's always something to build on. No moral victories whatsoever, but I think regardless of result, week to week, there's a process, and more time you spend around anyone, you're going to get more continuity, and that's, QB to receiver, that's QB to running back, that's us as a whole unit coming together really, and getting comfortable with, our unit.
If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it helps the channel more than you know. So, it looks like Alex Smith just dropped a bomb on the NFL rumor mill, claiming to reveal the real reason why Shedeur Sanders isn't starting for the Cleveland Browns. And let's be real, whenever a sentence begins with Alex Smith reveals the truth, you already know it's about to spark drama, stir debate, or deliver some perfectly disguised shade under the label of expert analysis.
He's looked efficient, right? He's got the ball out of his hands. He's only taken 1 sack, hasn't turned the ball over, hasn't put it in harm's way. He's got the ball to his playmakers, and they're in this game.
Meanwhile, the fact that he is starting is obviously a significant story. There have been very few situations like the one in Cleveland this year where they draft him in the 3rd round and then they draft Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. And the immediate reaction here, Rex, from you was the fact that Dillon Gabriel is the starter and Joe Flacco is the backup is interesting.
Yeah, because it shouldn't.
But this time, it's more than just a hot take, it's a complete takedown. The Browns have somehow managed to turn one of college football's most electrifying young quarterbacks into a perfectly postured spectator on the sidelines.
Other people will say, Dillon Gabriel is a really good quarterback. There's nothing wrong. There is a problem with that. I don't want a quarterback out there who's just out there and my receivers and my running backs are not getting any yards. I need receivers and running backs who are getting me dimes. Because every time you get a dime, I'm still on the field. The clock is still running. I am in possession of the ball, and the ability to make points is available to me.
Because let's be honest, the Browns are basically scholars in chaos. If there's any franchise capable of turning a 5-star quarterback into a glorified water boy with Wi-Fi access, it's Cleveland. This is the same team that once glanced at a decent roster and thought, you know what? Let's blow it up and start over.
And I want to see him out there like anybody else.
Yeah.
And why the hell he's not out there? It
makes no sense.
It makes absolutely no sense to me.
It makes no sense.
No sense.
You hit the nail on the head, Rex. This year, the rest of this year should be finding out if either of these kids can be a starting quarterback, right? And the fact that he's not bumped up to backup, something's off. Something's wrong, right? Again, given his ability, his track record, where they're at right now as a team, as a QB room with Joe Flacco, again, I don't understand why this guy's not the backup and ready to roll in case something happens.
So when Alex Smith opens his mouth and claims there's truth behind Shedeur's benching, everyone tunes in like it's the latest Netflix true crime doc. The truth? Buckle up, because apparently, the Browns' quarterback decision isn't about stats or skill. It's about vibes, trust, and whatever mystical nonsense they're brewing in that locker room. Let's get one thing straight, Shedeur Sanders isn't your typical rookie. He's not some 4th-round project still figuring out how to tie his cleats. This is Shedeur, the guy who turned Colorado football into a Hollywood blockbuster. The one who walks into a game looking like he's about to film a Rolls-Royce commercial, not run a 2-minute drill. He's got swagger, accuracy, and the kind of poise most NFL vets spend a decade chasing in therapy. So when Alex Smith shows up with his football Yoda wisdom, saying there's more to the story, fans start connecting dots like it's a group project. Did someone in the front office feel threatened by Shedeur's fame? Did he park in the wrong spot? Did he outshine their franchise face in practice? Or maybe the Browns just love making baffling decisions purely for the aesthetic.
Shedeur thinks this is the greatest out. I don't know what you want me to do. I was told you don't want to hear me, but I can't give my actual answer.
So
you want me to do coach speak?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's what quarterbacks do.
That is what NFL rooms want. Now, fans, his followers, his supporters, sports media, obviously, we've all talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody has hit it. We love that this is happening, but I don't know if it's necessarily the right move for an NFL career, if that is what you're looking for. But we don't know with Shedeur. Once again, all you need is one team to be like, that's fucking hilarious. We wish we would have done that to Rex Ryan.
But here's the kicker: Alex Smith's reasoning basically comes down to development and preparation. Classic NFL buzzwords for we don't actually know what we're doing. Because sure, nothing says growth like watching a backup-level starter get sacked 12 times a game. That's the Browns' version of mentorship trauma by observation. Meanwhile, Shedeur's on the sideline watching the same train wreck play out week after week, probably wondering if he accidentally signed up for a live-action remake of Groundhog Day, Quarterback Edition. Every drive feels identical: 3 plays, a punt, and a coach chewing gum like it's part of the game plan. Alex Smith's revelation isn't news, it's confirmation. The Browns have trust issues. They don't trust their process, their players, or even their own reflection. Every young quarterback to them isn't a future, it's a ticking time bomb, shiny on the outside and terrifying on the inside.
Listen,
I always looked at the quarterback room as this is like this kumbaya sort of. These guys come out of here and they're arm in arm, holding hands and all this stuff. They sit right next to each other in the front row. They do all these things together. And Cleveland messed this quarterback room up on draft day, in my opinion. I mean, you draft a kid high in Dylan Gabriel, then you draft not only a competitor but a pretty good quarterback in terms of Shedeur Sanders. So they're confused and they're competing. So how is it working? And you also have Joe Flacco in there. I don't know how much mentoring Joe Flacco is doing, because he knows he's on his last leg. He's on his way out. And these guys are probably as old as some of his.
The irony here? Alex Smith knows this game better than anyone. He was the face of good quarterbacks getting benched for being too steady. The man literally lost his job to a rising star because he wasn't flashy enough. So, when he says Shedeur isn't starting for reasons beyond performance, you can bet something's off behind the scenes. Smith's been that guy, the veteran who knows the playbook cold, does everything right, and still ends up on the sideline holding a tablet like a substitute teacher. But let's be honest, Shedeur Sanders was never built to be a backup. The guy radiates starter energy. His entire presence screams main character. You don't stash someone like that behind a struggling QB and expect him to just nod along. That's like parking a Lamborghini in the garage while taking the minivan out for joyrides. But according to Alex Smith, there's this bigger picture. Oh, sure. Because when teams say that, it's usually code for we have no idea what we're doing, but this sounds smart. The Browns have been chasing their bigger picture since the Reagan era, still waiting on the final masterpiece.
People want Shedeur to be satisfied as QB3, emergency quarterback, a backup quarterback to Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. Why Shedeur should be satisfied with that? ESPN Get Up Greening told us on ESPN Cleveland that he couldn't find nobody from the scouting department, GM, to come back and tell them that they had Shedeur Sanders rated as a 5th round draft.
And let's not pretend Shedeur isn't handling this like a seasoned pro. Calm, composed, and laser-focused, he knows patience is part of the game. But underneath that calm, he's itching to prove himself. Every practice throw feels like a statement. Every rep, a quiet protest. He's not just waiting, he's simmering, the calm before the storm. The Browns think benching him makes him more prepared. Right, because clearly, the best way to prep a player for NFL speed is to keep him off the field. With Shedeur's command, discipline, and accuracy, you don't babysit him, you build around him. You give him the keys, not the clipboard. You let him make mistakes, because he adapts fast and never backs down. Meanwhile, the offense keeps looking like a buffet of missed chances. Receivers crave rhythm, the line craves direction, and fans crave hope, all waiting for number 2 to finally take the field.
I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders now.
Yes, sir.
If he believes there's no way on earth that I should have dropped this low, that is something more than football. then why would you allow something outside of football to contribute to whatever you're projecting?
Right.
You know, not me, not Stephen A., not RC, not Dio. You know, if you're Shedeur Sanders, this is what they did to me. And then you're sitting around and allowing fodder to be displayed where somebody's able to say, that's why we did that to you.
Right. Yeah.
You don't do that. So that's all I would say to him. Again,
Cleveland's front office claims they're protecting Shedeur from early burnout. Protecting him? From what, winning? That's the only thing this kid doesn't chase with full intensity. He thrives under pressure. Give him a tough situation, and he'll turn it into a highlight reel. You can feel the tension mounting every week, every loss, every missed throw by the starter adds another layer. The media circles. Fans grow restless. And Alex Smith? He drops hints like a man who's seen this movie before, knowing exactly how it ends. Because it always ends the same way, the young, talented QB gets his shot, and everyone acts shocked. The Browns face a choice: keep trudging through mediocrity, or unleash the guy who could change everything. Shedeur isn't just another player, he's composure, confidence, and controlled chaos in motion. Sitting him is like trying to trap a thunderstorm in a jar. Even the locker room notices. Leadership can't be faked, and Shedeur was born with it. Right now, the Browns are pretending experience beats talent, when the truth is obvious.
They don't care who's number one. The worldwide news right now is 3 is still 3. Why isn't he 2? The world wants to see him get this chance. This reminds me of the Bronny situation. Dylan, you want to be Quincy. He was the one who got that contract. You want to be third. You want Shedeur to go out there and then have a horrible time, and then you come in and have good moments. So you look good. You going out there first, no one's rooting for you. Unless you out this mother perfect, everything you do is going to be a target.
And let's be real, the NFL thrives on stories. Redemption arcs, breakout stars, new face of the franchise headlines, they live for it. Shedeur's debut isn't a question of if it will explode online, but when. The moment the Browns finally hand him that starting job, it's going to be pure fireworks. Fans will realize they've been watching the future warm up on the sidelines all along. Alex Smith may not have meant to stir the pot, but his truth just poured gasoline on a smoldering situation. Now every camera at practice is on Shedeur. Every commentator is waiting for the switch. Every snap is measured against what could be. That's pressure money can't buy. Cleveland can't hide talent behind excuses forever. When Shedeur Sanders is ready, he's ready. No committee, no trust the process speech can slow him down. The Browns might call it caution, but really, they're delaying their own success. Momentum like this waits for no one.
TV and just went haywire about the stunt that the NFL did on Shedeur. So why Shedeur is supposed to just sit back and just say, hey, I'm in here in practice looking at Joe Flacco, a 41-year-old quarterback, and the way he playing? Come on. And I'm looking at DG, Dylan Gabriel, in practice, getting balls batted down at the line of scrimmage, throwing balls where ain't no wide receivers at, and I'm supposed to sit back and be happy? No, bruh, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Shedeur is not satisfied being QB3 on the Cleveland.
If Cleveland doesn't wake up soon, they might just watch him light up another team and regret not handing him the keys earlier. The truth Alex Smith hinted at is simple: Shedeur Sanders doesn't need time, he needs a real chance. Not token snaps or preseason promises, he's earned it, proven it. Now it's on the Browns to stop protecting their system and start protecting their potential. Fans see it. Analysts see it. Even the Browns know it deep down. The only one calm about it? Shedeur himself, and that's what makes the story so compelling. When he finally starts, it won't just be football. It'll be patience rewarded, confidence validated, and a city realizing what it's had all along. As soon as he hits the field and the offense clicks, all the development excuses vanish, critics turn believers, and Smith's warning feels prophetic. Meanwhile, the Browns can keep pretending they're playing chess while the world watches checkers.
Turnover. He did this, and eventually you're going to be getting booed by that Cleveland Browns stadium. They want to see him play to see if he's good or not. That's just the way it is. No one cares about the rest. It's him, then Myles Garrett at this point. When we're talking about jersey sales, he's number one. At this point, if you're Cleveland, why are you still putting yourself under this guillotine? I understand why. You don't want to make yourself look stupid. We wanted him. We think he's it. He is the proven one, and we don't want you to go out there and perform very well. Makes us look stupid that we picture and fit. So you're fighting an inner fight anyway. There's really nothing you can do. So if you're Shedeur, he's not in a position to say, what the you asking me for? What do I need to do?
Time's ticking, the truth is out, and Shedeur isn't built to stay on the bench for long. Cleveland can spin their strategy stories all they want, but there's one reality that can't be ignored. When you've got a generational quarterback right there, you don't wait for perfect timing, you create it. And if the Browns don't? History has a way of repeating itself, especially in Cleveland. If Alex Smith is right and the truth really comes down to politics, fear, or image, it's even more absurd. The Browns don't need politics, they need points. They don't need caution, they need a spark. That spark? Shedeur Sanders. Give him the ball. Let him lead. Because the only thing worse than losing is realizing the answer was sitting there all along, calm, stylish, golden-armed, and ready.